Hello everyone, I'm the Nerdy Fool and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. We'll be continuing where we left off, where we were on our way to try and find a navigator. We got to... Oh, sorry. We got to this space station where we found it in the middle of a bit of a civil war. We don't actually know necessarily which side is good or evil or what the different factions are going on there. We suspect the guy we met out here is the instigator and therefore the villain, etc. But we don't actually know that. So we didn't call him out on it, and that led us into a path where we're apparently on his side. So, yeah. Who knows? We ended up having to battle our way through a bunch of the guards that were on the other side of that faction. But we've gotten all the materials we need. Now we need to make a key that will allow us to access the elevator, and I'm assuming this laboratory is how we go about that. So, let us continue.
I better myself through my service.
Synthetic amniotic fluid pools across the floor. Barely discernible traces stretch to the side opposite the entrance.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Well, let's grab all the loot. Biogel, a viscous translucent substance. Black water. A purified sample of the ocean world OM42K03. Unidentified acid, a hissing foul-smelling liquid. We saw a report somewhere where someone was talking about adding black water to the meteorite. I think it was. Maybe it's here. No, adamantine dust and black water. This was the worst idea that could have entered my mind. Yeah. So, that's probably what this is talking about. So we don't want to do that thing. Can we get info? No, it's just a data crypt. Which we had another one, yes. H40KO versus KO4OH. Psy crystal. Neat. Flesh sample. So we've got a flesh sample, we've got a navigator flesh sample, and a mutated flesh sample. I'm assuming we're going to have to put all these together in the correct ways. There's probably a correct combination, a bad combination, and then some combinations that are sort of neutral. The constant stench of reagents sears your nostrils, and broken glass crunches underfoot. Somebody wanted to destroy the laboratory or find something. Well, it doesn't seem like there was anything else left to do here. Lady Cassia's Medicae. Okay. First we'll grab the loot. Another research note. We will definitely read that. More and more servants are being influenced by the Imperium, and it has nothing to do with the child's more frequent tantrums. We've discovered that the corrupted flesh of the mutated reacts most unusually to the crystals we purchased from the Winterscale dynasty. I strongly recommend finely grinding these reagents to catalyze the reaction. Do not use acid under any circumstances. Trust me, you will not like having to tend to the burns for the next dozen turns in a row. This calls for something more basic. Oh, and one more thing. The tech priest blessed the data crypt H41OK for the calculated number of chronoturns, which means it is no longer necessary to remain near the device while waiting for the reaction to start. The data crypt H40KO. These are all so close to each other. Malfunctioned over the course of our research. I should remind the technomats to deliver the sacred mechanism into Magos Dioctius's capable hands. I don't think I actually grabbed that. Collect. Transducer. Remake the control rod. That's what we need to do. Adamantine. So adamantine versus meteorite chunk. And psi crystal. Maybe our 3 different pieces we can interchange. Because it seems like we have 3 copies of several of the ingredients that seem equivalent. We've got 3 of these. We've got 3 of those. We've got 3 flesh samples. So I'm guessing meteorite, adamantine, and psi crystal. And so we have to choose which of the 3 to use for each of the different parts, maybe?
I won't tolerate weakness.
Laboratory journal. H4045LS, experimental section. The child's influence on the psycho-emotional state of various representatives of the Imperium. Access level, Orsilio T prime. Experiment H4545-1, subject group, lowborn male. Test subject exhibited signs of acute stress. The majority perished of blood loss within a day of being placed in the laboratory chamber due to the inability to halt the discharge of ocular secretions, tears, and the body's subsequent replacement of these secretions with the connective tissue of its internal environment. The individuals with the greatest resistance to the sacred child's resonance died several chronoturns later. Extensive wounds in the abdomen, presumably inflicted by a jagged piece of metal. Death was caused by strangulation with the subject's own intestines. Subject's final shouts exhibited concerns over abominable tentacles and void worms, hallucinations prescribed to their own internal organs. Experiment H4545-2, lowborn female. The test subject died within an hour of entering the laboratory adjacent to the child's chambers. Most had their tongues bitten off, or their jaws badly dislocated. Some test subjects lacked the physical strength to separate it from the rest of the skull. Cause of death? Severe head injuries, caused by impacting the walls or the floor. H4545-3, subgroup, a paralyzed patient who had lost the ability to speak due to the shock caused by a manufactorum accident, male. The test subject noted a tingling sensation in the deteriorated tissue. During Regent Aranto Orselio's visit to the child, the test subject smiled and started humming, most likely trying to carry some plebeian tune, and then attempted to address the servant who brought him food. A lengthy conversation was prohibitive due to the servant's lack of a tongue. H4545-4, subgroup of defective offspring of Lord P. Orselio, pronounced unfit for studying the high art of navigation owing to the mutation of tissues required for installation of the obligatory augmentations that merge one's consciousness with the vessel. Additionally, they displayed an overall feebleness of mind, female. The test subject mirrored the child's actions for 3 days. On the 4th day, the child became upset after hearing the news about the untimely demise of Amos Cantarella, an officer of her personal guard. As a result, one of the test subjects peeled away several layers of tissue from her face and died from the resulting massive heart attack. The last surviving test subject was executed for attempting to contact the child. So they're just putting people in the room next to the child to see how being in the presence of the child causes them to react, usually in violent, dangerous, deadly ways. Okay. I think that's everything in here. Let's talk to the Medicae. They all just lost their minds. Please, don't kill me. I don't plan to kill you. Okay, so we have to put in a tissue sample. One of the data crypts. So yes, I was correct about how this would work. One of the 3 flasks. And then we don't have a reagent to slot in. Maybe transducer will give us that? Yes, so we can put in one of the 3 minerals, and presumably that will make our reagent. So, we go back to our logs. To create the control rod, one of them has to tell us what we need to do. Let's see. Lucky to have my head on my shoulders after this reckless experiment. Adamantine seems to protect the frail flesh of the lowborn to a degree. Having said that, not even the macerator can handle its temper, so we should probably introduce a more complex compound into the formula. All of the data recorded to the experiment were recorded in KO40H. When I'm done with H41OK. Meteorite is useless. So we know it's not the meteorite we need. Adamantine dust and black water is bad. Maybe I should start writing notes. And I just dropped my pencil. There it is. So we're going to have to go through a couple different notebooks of information. So we know adamantine plus black water is bad. Let's see. Anything about... Saw something about flesh, but I don't think it's necessarily related to which flesh sample I should use. Meteorite is useless. I'll write that down. I think that's most that we're getting out of there. This one. The crystals we purchased from the Winter Scale Dynasty, is that the Psy crystal? Presumably? So corrupted flesh, mutated flesh, reacts with the Winter Scale crystal. So mutated flesh plus Psy crystal. Is a good reaction or an unusual reaction. We don't really know. I strongly recommend finely grinding the reagent to catalyze the reaction. Don't use acid. So for this, no acid. Something more basic. So definitely not the acid. Biogel or black water? Which of those would be basic? Who knows? Well, water should be neutral. Therefore, biogel might be a base. Assuming they're talking about basic as in chemistry pH levels. But since they're talking about acids, I would assume so. Tech Priest bless the data crypt. So this is also being tied to this experiment, I think. So for this, we also want to use the H41OK. That is one we have, right? Yes. None of those talk about how to get the key, though. I'm sure we read about the key at some point. Definitely not there. Oh, and I think we need the blood sample to somehow help with that as well, didn't we? I don't think it's this. This is just a book of how to be a good servant. Yeah. Not that. We've read through that one. And this is just the report on people going nuts. Well, I don't really know. Let's go here, grab the psi crystal.
Halt! I noticed something.
What did you notice? Okay, so that gave us crystal dust. I suppose we could grind up the others as well. Adamantine dust. Does the meteorite have value? Doesn't say. Because we know it's worthless for experiments, so probably not the one we need. But there we go. So if we go here, tissue flask, if we want to use the mutated flesh. For this we want H41 okay. Catalyst flask, we don't want the acid. We'll go with Blackwater. I'm guessing the biogel is for our key. Since that sounds like a good, healthy thing versus the black water that apparently caused horrible things to the adamantium. So we're going to try Blackwater here. And then for this, we use the crystal dust. And see what results that gives us. Quick save, though. Just to be on the safe side. Activate the device. It took the... the blood sample. Am I missing it? I thought I just read it. Oh, trophy changes notifications. Receive item control rod lost on... Okay, so we lost the phylactery of blood to make the control item. Go to our inventory. What do we have? We have the control rod now. But for this secondary experiment, I'm guessing the explosion means I failed?
None shall stand in my way.
Let's try reloading. Clearly something about that I think I did wrong. And I don't like missing out on puzzles. So they usually give rewards, and there's some puzzle here. Oh dear, can I only... I can't undo it? Well, that's awkward. Guess I should have saved before putting in all the items. Huh. Pretty sure that's wrong. At least it feels wrong, but I don't have a way to go back and try again, so that's fine. Control rod is just using the blood to make the control rod, so it's not using any of the other materials. Yeah. So we lost out on various things, clearly failed at that experiment, but oh well. No way to fix it, it seems, and no way to try again.
It's about time.
Usually Owlcat's puzzles allow you to try multiple times until you succeed. It's a little weird to me that it just blew up. But, oh well, so be it. We've got our control rod, so time to go to Felek. So that we can get to the elevator.
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
Well, yeah, you had a 100% chance to succeed.
Victory awaits.
We already looked at you, yeah. You had obviously been tortured, which is part of the reason we assume Felix is the villain, because torture is usually frowned upon. But in 40k, that's probably more normal. Alright. Felix, we've got your key. Felix Orsilio looks a little better. His tangled hair is now neatly braided, his wounds are tightly bandaged, and there is some healthy color under the scales on his cheeks. You dealt with the threat and powered the elevator. Well done. I trust you've brought the activation rod as well. Remember, every second of hesitation may cost my mistress her life. Adira suddenly cocks her head and drives her nails deep into her shoulder. Then she starts mumbling, "The crossroads, there are two paths, both stained with blood, both leading to the accursed eye. They all wear masks so poor and flimsy they fall at the slightest touch, one hiding a blind man, the other another a traitor." Tell me more, what paths? Who is who? Who do you see behind the masks? Thank you, everything is clear now. Thank you, I did not understand a single word, or just ignore her. No, tell me more. What paths? I cannot say. One is paved with blind faith, the other with hatred and treachery. Both lead to tragedy. You simply have to decide what kind of tragedy you like the most. Who is who? Who do you see behind the masks? My whispers are giggling nastily, and I cannot speak. The naughty little things. They say that tearing off the masks is your concern. Alright, thank you. Everything is clear now. Adira nods tiredly and glances at Felix out of the corner of her eye. This station has enough problems without your sorcery, psyker. Felix waves Adira off and looks at you expectantly. Hand over the key, keep the key. I have many questions regarding what happened to the station. Let's see if there are any more questions we can ask, but probably is just going to go to the list of what we've already asked. Oh, it does not. Perfect. You think they are worth the life of my mistress? Who is the child mentioned in the documents and reports found on the station? You meddled with something that should have been left alone. The keeper folds his arm and shakes his head disapprovingly. The child is what the station servants call Lady Cassia, for the commoner's dirty mouths must not sully her name by uttering it. You see, it is not beneficial for all servants to have their vocal organs altered. Some prove to be more useful when they are able to speak. The madmen I fought were convinced that we were the traitors. The servants alone cannot be blamed for what happened on the station. Most corpses I discovered were either unarmed or feeble. I trust you. Let's rescue your mistress. The madmen I fought were convinced that we were the traitors. Philip gives an indifferent shrug. That's why they are insane. Will you really heed the ramblings of retainers who dared to raise their hand against the scions of a noble bloodline? The servants alone cannot be blamed for what happened on the station. Most corpses I discovered were either unarmed or feeble. Did you really think that mere servants could plan a coup? The senior officers are just as guilty. Half of my guard butchered one another because they suspected treason. As for the real culprit, a coup was staged by those closest to the mistress. Destroying the shuttle, shutting off the power, and disabling the security systems, too many things required special access. Access available only to the keeper of the station. As I am sure you are aware, there were two keepers of the station. Your guess is absolutely correct. Theobald Orselio, the demented old man obsessed with Lady Cassia and her power, and also the one to blame for the woes that befallen Urak 5 and our noble line. I listened to a recording of a private conversation between station officers. You were very lenient toward them, purposely neglecting the security protocols. Yes, he was. I saw the security captain's report. I think we can ask both of these, so I'll start with the top one. You were lenient with security. I was lenient, this is true. And in the end, I paid a steep price for it. Just look at the destruction around us. The insurgents have left almost nothing of my home. The keeper spits out the last few words with particular bitterness. I saw the security captain's report. Only the keepers have access to the station systems, but Theobald stayed at his side the entire time and could not have initiated the self-destruct protocol. Which means he did it before the report was filed, or maybe after, or Felix stern-faced twist in disgust. You dare suspect me of what happened? The one who is going out of his way to preserve what little there is still left? By the God Emperor, you will keep these slanderous accusations to yourself. Enough, I would not trust you as far as I could throw you, Felix Orsilio. Enough lies, Felek. I'm certain that you are the one behind the coup. I would not trust you as far as I could throw you, Felek or Celio. It really is time to end this. Felix squares his shoulders and gestures to his guards. I was hoping to find an ally in you, but now you are merely delaying the sorrowful end of your story. Prepare to die.
The Emperor is with us.
Not terribly surprising. Unfortunately, we are super surrounded. He's got guards. Yeah, positioned all around. But maybe if Felix dies, the rest will leave us alone. But Felix is more likely to die if we... Like, we first kill off the minions. That'll be better for us. Alright, we'll put ourselves into cover. Granted, it's not great cover with 3 enemies behind us, but what can you do? Abelard. Where are you on turn order? You are so far back. So far. If I put you there, you'll have a good rush at him. Adira, you can go into full cover there. And Argenta... I guess I'll put you into half cover here. It's probably the best we're going to pull off. Let's start the battle. We are first. I don't think any of them are clustered enough for me to be able to use Lightning Arc. No, I can actually. Hit those 2. But I think instead I will go for Ignite, Run and Gun, Ignite again on someone else. We'll start with Felek. Take some fire. Then Run and Gun. Then we shall Ignite again. Start working on taking out these guys behind us, I think. Are these all just Felix bodyguards? Yeah, so there's not any sort of more powerful one I need to focus on. We'll take you out. Or I could leave him to Abelard. Sure, we'll take you out. Or do some damage, I suppose, more accurately. We still have some AP and movement. But I can't... I have no abilities I can use, so probably just gonna call it there. Let's see. Good misses. Argenta, if you could take out all of these people. Free momentum for each enemy that is either in a 5-cell radius or was hit by her. How close is 5 cells? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this guy probably counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I would say he's probably still out. Currently, we only have the 2. How much damage do you do? Not enough. Nowhere near enough. Okay. Could go with something like this, just trying to take out one of them with lots of shots. Not the worst call. Because really, I want the ones behind us to be removed as the highest priority. This one's actually going to go before anyone else gets a turn, so if we can kill him... This guy goes after Adira and Abelard. So let's focus on taking him out first. Oh, really? Well, we could run and gun and take another shot at him,
I'll do it.
which is probably worthwhile just to make sure we're not taking that extra attack. Only 55%. That is... He's right in front of you. Alright, take 4 more shots.
Faith without deed. Strike the friend.
Okay. Probably as good as we're going to pull off there. So that will be your turn. Oh. You died to the warp burn. Perfect. Can you take out this guy, do you think? Something like this does a lot, but not enough. Psychic Shriek also does potentially enough, but not guaranteed. Between 14 to 26, they have 24. Let's analyze enemies on him. This is 2 AP, good. So if you do expose weakness now,
Will do.
then your Shriek. 10 to 19, you're doing less somehow. How did that work out? Something about that I don't understand. Like, exposed weakness should just... increase in target's dodge, parry, and armor. I guess none of that really matters. Armor probably would be affected, but dodge and parry are not factored in. With a psychic power. This one, 14 exactly, 10 to 19. And we'll take it. I just don't know why the damage value went down from... It was like 14 to 26 or something, down to 10 to 19. Something I'm not understanding.
But of course.
Just the 10. Not the best, but okay. Abelard. Where did Felix run to? All the way back there, so you're not going to get to him. I mean, I could go a bit ballsy and move him here and then charge to hit that guy, and then have Abelard be amongst this group to then start charging and hampering them. Or I could instead just try and take out this guy because he's a little close for comfort. Or take out this guy because he's behind us and therefore I don't like him. He is right after, so if I can take him out, we don't have to deal with him shooting us in the back. Sure. Move to here.
My place is at the fore.
Apparently your place is at the back. Charge this guy.
Victory is imminent. I took care of this one.
Perfect. Could do brace for impact. But no, we'll have him endure.
It will be done.
We don't need you to use Reckless Strike because you've already finished your strike for the turn. So, yeah. You're out in the open, so hopefully they attack him and just bounces off of his temporary wounds. Now, you don't have line of sight on people because they're in cover, but apparently that doesn't matter. How big does this range go? Oh yeah, we don't actually really know what this does. If the target is an ally, everyone adjacent to the target, both allies and enemies, suffer the effects of ignite. Yeah. Does that count as an attack power? Is that why I wasn't able to use it last time? It probably does. We'll hit you first. And by first, I apparently mean only. We can't do run and gun yet. Alright. That looks like that's our turn. I should probably give him more soldier abilities to give him more utility, rather than just giving him more offensive powers when he can only use one per turn. Or sometimes two. Okay, you've put out the warp burn, it looks like. Nice miss. Alright, Argenta. Was that a miss on us? We have, what? Warp Curse Unleashed. The enemy becomes cursed until the end of combat. All incoming warp damage is increased by 12%, and other types of incoming damage are increased by 6%. At the start of their turn, the enemy close to them also becomes cursed. Oh dear. Well, let's just move Argenta forward. She's tanky enough that she can probably withstand potentially some attacks. So from there, if you attacked... Probably as good as we're going to get. We could try getting somewhere to attack Felic. Like go here instead. No. I'm good with you going here.
Doubt is for the weak.
Oh. Only one hit. You gotta do better.
I must not falter.
Okay. High momentum. Probably not gonna use it on Adira. Yeah. You use Psychic Shriek, you would kill this guy. Well, that works for me. I love that we are not having any issues with Bale Degradation. That uses all your movement. Probably says so. Yeah. Okay. Let's give Argenta
Will do.
some dodge. Abelard. You go here. Could you then charge this guy? Yes, you could.
Indeed.
Didn't quite kill him, sadly. Do a strike.
At your beck and call. One fewer target.
Thank you. Oh, forgot to have him get his healing. Now he also has the curse. Alright, well you have stopped burning, and I don't like that, so burn again.
Purposes, nothing of value has been lost.
Haha. Killing a guy, and as you kill him, shouting out nothing of value has been lost. Oh, you're so mean. Alright, let's move, then run and gun. So with run and gun, you can then move again. Although I think we're probably already in range. We are not in range to hit that guy. How close are we? He is like 1 square out of our range. If we step forward, then could I hit him? Yes.
Not a problem for me.
Light him on fire. 18 damage. That raising of our psi rating was so good. Magenta, he is fortunately terribly in cover. Go here. You tried to just shoot him. 34%? Now, take 4 shots at 48% each. I don't know why your 4 shots are at a higher percentage chance to hit than your single shot. And by 4, I meant 2, apparently, because you were out of ammo.
I will not.
You can't reload because it takes 3 actions. Oh, no. You do have another weapon. So we could run and gun. Switch weapons to your auto pistol. Single shot, it's terrible. But take 8 shots.
I'll do it.
Yeah. Sure.
Opposing me was your biggest mistake.
Wait. Did he die to the burn? He did. Okay. I was like, how did we suddenly get out of the fight? He started his turn and immediately died. Fantastic. Alright. Loot all the things. Shotgun. I've heard shotguns can be used in melee. Is that true? I don't know. Don't care about any of that. Loot this. Okay, we definitely don't need 3 shotguns. I mean, certainly we even need 1. Ritobi pattern las gun. Certainly not for us. I like our long las better. But it's probably a better las gun. We'll collect it and see who is using a las gun. We've got the long las. You have a normal las gun. Where... Oh. No? Oh, that's the notable items. Okay, yeah, no. Show me everything. Let's see. Same damage, less armor penetration. It's just worse. Am I missing something? No. It's just worse. Okay, send to cargo. Another bodyguard over here to check. We don't care about you. And lastly, Felic. Man, this station has lost so many people. Since Felic was one of their main nobles, and he's now also dead. We've got a stub revolver, deadshot stub revolver. That's pretty good damage. 15 AP. Rate of fire is 1, so we can't do burst shots with it. Range 6, maximum 12. It's fairly short. It is a pistol. Staff of House Orselio. requires you being a navigator, it looks like. Castigating 5 enemies targeted by the navigator's power suffer a -5 penalty to all their characteristics until the end of the navigator's next turn. This penalty stacks and is prolonged until the navigator's next turn every time it stacks. Armored body glove, we don't want. So that can go to cargo. Tactical goggles. Bonus to hit chance and critical hit chance. That's good. And Keeper's Control Rod, which is different than the control rod we made. Alright, Abelard. Because you are up front. But then again, if he's up front, he's probably going to just use his sword. Who would benefit from a stub revolver? Probably you. You can't use it. You are too weak to hold this gun. Takes strength 35. It's too heavy. Fantastic. Alright. I don't think anyone's going to use it then. At least of our current party members. We have the tactical goggles. Hit and crit chance. I think that would be good for you. You lose your immunity to critical hits. It's probably fine. Immunity to critical hits for the first 3 rounds of combat. It's nice. But no, we'll go with this. So you just hit more likely. Because regularly her attack rolls are like 40% chance to hit or something. So that plus 5% seems significant. And I won't say no to a plus 3% chance to crit. Okay, with that out of the way, we are free to go up the elevator, I suppose. And hope they don't murder us when we get there. Let's head up.